Is there any example you can give, maybe without naming names, or of someone that had success and or the promise of it?
Yeah.
And you know, sort of the green lights were going off at every intersection, and then stuff stops, and it's a rude awakening.
Yes, actually, I can go back to Sean Ryan again, the one who was so promising, and he got a job on a sitcom as soon as he came to LA, and then he didn't work for 6 years. And what he did is he wrote, and I think that he wrote about 14 spec scripts. And what happened is his scripts were all good, but nothing was getting him traction. And he asked his manager, he said to his manager, send me an example of a script that is getting somebody work. And his manager sent over the script that had the most buzz at the time. And Sean compared it page to page and said he'd have, you know, 3 things on a page that were really good. But this one, the one that got the buzz, every single beat was perfect. And when he realized that he had not been hitting the mark, he started to write and hit the mark. And in not too long of a time, he got hired on a show, and that show led to another show, and then he got, he developed The Shield. So you just have to keep working, you know, and you have to have a bigger perspective. This is just a business. Your family, the things you care about, those have to be equally important. They don't have to be, but I hope they are equally important in your life.
I'm curious, how soon into sort of this dip was he when he finally said, let me see this, whose thing is hot right now?
I suspect it was about 4 or 5 years in that happened. So he was only writing that next level of script for a couple of years. I don't know the exact dates, but I know that story.
It's interesting though, that because that shows his willingness at some point, maybe some people would have done it at the 2-year mark, but to say, okay, for whatever reason, my thing isn't working and I've got to look outside my work, because we all see our work with such a different set of eyes than other people do. Let's suppose someone's been in LA for 5 years, okay?
Yes.
They came out blazing hot.
Yes.
They've been here 5 years and they haven't been able to make any real progress. Are they better off saying, you know what, I'm going to take a sabbatical back home. My family's there, all the people I went to school with, they all love me, they're asking about me.
You know, I think that really depends. 5 years is a long time. But then there's some people that it happens in the 6th year. I think that it depends on how strong a stomach you have for putting in the work and not seeing results. 5 years is a long time. But if you have a vision that's really strong, then I say don't give up. But on the other hand, if you have a family to support and you're going out on auditions and you're not taking care of your family, then maybe you have to think about that. It's a hard call. I have a very close friend who was an aspiring actor, and he'd been doing it 5 or 6 years, and we did an intervention with him, his girlfriend and me and another friend, and we said, I don't think it's happening. I don't think the acting thing is happening. And he was kind of devastated. And when he got over being devastated, he said, you know what? You're right. I don't want to keep having these crappy jobs and hoping that I'm going to make it as an actor. And he'd had some success when he came to town. He was on a television show when he came to town. In fact, he was brought to town to be on a television show, and then nothing happened again for 5 years. And I ended up hiring him to be a reader, and he was so good that he moved up to being an executive. It worked out great for him. And it only happened when he let go of that particular thing.